Hey everybody, Martinez here. I've been having a heck of a time getting these videos to upload, so let's try this again. Anyway, I haven't recorded a video in a while. I thought I'd go ahead and record one because, you know, why not? There's a lot of cool stuff to talk about. Why not talk about something cool? Plus, I like being on the internet. Why not? Hey, we're all going to be famous one day. I'm a writer. You already know that. If you're following me, if not, welcome. Buy my books if you haven't. But anyway, so I'm going to try to just post a regular video on Monday and see what happens. But anyway, so the first thing I'm going to do before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video is I want to go ahead and plug the game, a board game that I discovered called Space Cadets by Stronghold Games. It's a great, unique game. And if you know me, I have a ton of board games, ton of card games, way too many. So it's really unique for me to say something's unique. It's the premise is that you're all the pilot of a starship. Everybody has their own station, and each station is its own mini game, and the mini games all relate to each other. Like the engineering gives energy, the weapons guy has a flick game for firing torpedoes, but he can't fire, he doesn't get any energy, and he doesn't load the torpedoes, and the tracking guy helps to do damage. So I'm not going to get too much into that. More than that, there's great reviews online for this game. I would recommend going to thedicetower.com and checking out their review. It's really solid. It's a pretty good review and convinced me to buy the game, and I'm very happy with it. But on to the meat and potatoes of this video. Okay, so as a writer, there's a lot of topics that come to me a lot, that come at me. People ask these questions a lot. So one of the more common ones I'm going to address is just at least touch upon it. I can't talk about it. I'm trying to limit this video to 6 minutes, so I can't go crazy. But writing is not as complicated as people want to make it out to be. It's hard, but it's not complicated in the sense of it's the work is the hard part, not the coming up with stuff. Character-wise, every character to me, if you're going to start, you should start simple. And the best way to start a character is to literally give them one trait that defines them. That is where you go to at any other point. And everything that they do is related to that trait. Now, it doesn't always have to be really obvious. It doesn't have to be, superficial. It doesn't have to be, but it's usually a good go-to. And it can kind of help because in the end, I actually think that's actually true how humans are, but that's beside the point. I'm going to go ahead and use an example of my own book because it's a plug for my own book, and also it's an example that's near and dear to my heart. Emperor Miles versus the Sinister Brain. This is the trade paperback cover. They changed the tagline, which I like this one better. But anyway, so if you've read the book, or you're going to read the book, Emperor Mollusk is a space squid from Neptune who's a super genius. And super genius is his defining trait. He is smarter than everybody to the point of that's an important aspect of the story. It's almost like a assumed of the story's reality. And Emperor Mollusk is smarter than you, and smarter than the bad guy, and smarter than the other people around him. He's smarter than everybody. Now, once you understand this about Emperor Mollusk, it puts everything together. For example, since he's smarter than everybody, he also gets bored easily. And because he gets bored easily, he makes doomsday devices when he shouldn't. And then somebody gets a hold of those doomsday devices and it's a bad guy. Now, of course, not every story is driven by the actions of the central character. So that's important. But in this particular case, it all goes back to the smart. Boop, over here. Emperor Mollusk is also his story arc of the story, his own personal arc is a bit of that too, which is him dealing with being smarter than everybody and the hassles that come with that. Yeah, I know it's kind of a strange thing, but also the dark moment in the story, the real dark moment of the story comes when he has to confront the possibility he might not be smarter than everybody. Then at the end, and I'm not going to tell you which, the story either resolves its story arc by confirming he is smarter than everybody, or by him coming to terms with not being smarter than everybody. And in either case, everything kind of relates to that as his central character trait. Now, in this particular case, that's pretty strong because really Emperor Mollusk versus the Sinister Brain is his story, and it's all about him. Not every story is like that, so not every story is driven so strongly driven by the central character. But in this particular case, it is. I mean, it's pretty much his story. He has I like to believe he has a strong supporting cast. I mean, I don't know, and they're important, but it's all about his personal journey, and that's an important aspect of it. There's a lot of cool other stuff going on too, and it's not just about that, but that's really what defines it. But that's really all you need to do. When I created Emperor Mollusk, that's what I did, and whenever I ran into the story, a question, I was like, well, what would Emperor Mollusk do? And it'd either be do something smart or deal with not being smart. And and as silly as that sounds, it works. It works because we know it works because almost every character that has lasting appeal is incredibly simple. You know, you got Batman, you got Superman, you got Hercules, you got every character from almost every myth. You've got every culture has like the characters they've had for forever, and almost all those characters are defined by one or two traits at most. And every story they have is revolves around those one or two traits. It's not always true, but it is 99% of the time true. And so if you're going to create a character, give them one, maybe two traits, remember those, and always go back to those. Now, that doesn't mean, again, only use those, but almost always those are going to be the informed tiebreakers. It's kind of like if a character is going to do something bad or something good, and you're not sure, look at their defining trait, and you can almost always figure it out. Anyway, that's all I wanted to go ahead and record this time. It's kind of a brief overview of character stuff. There's so much more to get into. It's way too complicated. I'm not even going to bother trying to cover it. It would just move. This could go on for 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 100 minutes. Um, but anyway, if you want to ask me any comments or questions on this, follow up. Maybe you have other questions about writing. Maybe you have other questions about board games. Maybe you just want to say, hey, what's up? What do you think about uh, robots? I like them. I'm pro robot. Um, send me those questions or comments at my Twitter account, Ali Martinez, at my Facebook account. I'm at Ali Martinez. You can go to my website, alimartinez.com, leave a comment, or you can go to the email. You can email me directly. No, sorry, hipstercthulhu at hotmail.com. If you need trouble, if you need help spelling Cthulhu, you probably aren't my fan, but hey, I'll put a comment. I'll put it in the comments or something, and we'll figure it out. But anyway, thanks for listening. Have a great day, and catch you next time.